Hello and welcome to this video series on HTML for beginners. Now in this video we're going to do some basic web design. Now on one end of this spectrum we have a plain web page that contains only text, no formatting, no colors, no nothing, just black print on white background. Now this page loads on the visitor's browser faster than, well, lickety-split. I mean faster than any other web page on the internet. Well, except for all the other plain Jane web pages just like this one. They all load about the same. Now I for one am not going to be sticking around on this web page for very long because I know there are probably other web pages out there on the net that have similar information but are presented to me in a much prettier package. Now on the other end or opposite end of this spectrum we have a web page with the same information as the first but is so bloated with the flash intro and the obnoxious music playing and some of the most god-awful huge humongous images and graphics that are going to take longer to load than paint would dry in a damp basement. And frankly I'm not going to bother watching the paint dry or wait for this page to load. So like in the first example, I'm out of here. I'm on the back arrow button or on the next web page. So really the ideal page design is going to be one that's located somewhere in the middle of these two basically very extreme examples. The best part is that it's all pretty well subjective to the eye of the beholder. Now since you cannot please everybody all the time, shoot for most of the people most of the time. Now in this video we're going to try to provide to you some of the basic rules of thumb, and along with that toss in a small amount of imagination, and believe it or not, just with those two little items your web pages will look fantastic to the majority of the visitors that stop by. And by the way, that's pretty much our goal here. Now there's a whole bunch of tools on the internet that can help you gain some insight as to what your visitors might be thinking about your website, or at least raise their initial thoughts. One of those tools is Google Analytics, and just to be on the safe side you can do a Google search for Google Analytics and it'll be the first one that pops up. This is the URL right here, https www.google.com/analytics. That'll bring you to their main page. Do some research, some reading, or we can just wait a few months, at which point we're going to be releasing the video series we're going to have titled Google Analytics, and I'll probably be able to pronounce it better then too. Google Analytics, it's a free tool. Used to cost, I believe it was like $300 or $400 or $500 a month until Google purchased it, and now it's free. Yay, Google. Anyway, it's got a lot of information. One of the main things, the reason I'm bringing it up now, is that you can track how many visitors come by your page. You just put a little snippet of code on each page you want to track, and it lets you know how many visitors showed up on that page. It'll let you know a lot of things, but mainly insofar as this video is concerned, it also lets you know how long those visitors hung around. That will let you know, for example, if you got a whole bunch of visitors that show up but they only hung around for a couple of seconds, chances are pretty good there's something about your web page that just turned them off and they wanted to get the heck out of Dodge. So you might want to consider that, as you load your page with all those fancy flash intros and humongous poking around loading images. You might want to do so after you've installed the little snippet of code and you test it on Google Analytics, because frankly you can have the best website on the internet, but if the people aren't going to stick around long enough to see what you have to offer because of all the crud you've got on your web page, well, you may want to reconsider that. Anyway, Google Analytics, it's free. Check it out. And like I said, we're going to be introducing a video series dedicated to Google Analytics later on. Okay, enough about the tools, for crying out loud. Let's jump into the main crux of this video. Let's start with a few tips on starting your web design. Now, number one, I would say start by checking out other people's web pages and noting what you liked about them, and maybe even going to their page source and copying the code of little bits and pieces of the website that you liked, and keep these little snippets of code in a folder on your desktop. Name it whatever you want. Use your imagination. HTML likes and dislikes, or whatever floats your boat. Keep them handy for easy retrieval, and this would start getting those imagination juices flowing in your head as to how you want to have your page designed. Number two, I would say brand yourself. If you do not currently have a slogan or a logo, well, you can either use a cool looking font or some color, and just create a text logo or slogan. If nothing else, just something to get you started. But you need to have this on every single web page of your site. Usually the header, or at least the top portion of your web page, is what they call the top fold. Number 3, your color scheme. Whatever you choose, make sure that you keep this the same scheme on all of your pages. I mean, you may want to have a friend take a look at them before you go hog wild. If you're not able to do this, because some of us are unfortunately colorblind or have zero sense of style. I mean, for example, my ex-wife said that about me all the time, among other things. But you may want to check out this as far as a color picker is what they call it. And it gives you an idea as to what colors go together. And this is just a little web page. Oddly enough, it's called colorpicker.com. One thing I also want to point out too, I use Firefox, Mozilla Firefox as far as my browser, and there's an add-on that you can get. It's called ColorZilla. If you do, I believe it's a Tools add-ons, you can go here and do a search for ColorZilla. I don't know if I got it on here or not. No, I don't. But anyway, you can do a ColorZilla, and then all you do